After the cabinet meeting, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles had a closed-door lunch with Senate Republicans. According to Senator Josh Hawley, who was there, she described Elon Musk's place in the administration hierarchy this way, quoting Senator Hawley, quote, Musk is working directly with the president, and the president then works with the cabinet secretaries. Maine Independent Senator Angus, who caucuses with Democrats, was not at the meeting. He and I spoke shortly before airtime. Senator King, when you see the images today of the cabinet meeting, Elon Musk standing in the corner with the cabinet gathered around President Trump, where do you think the power lies in that room? Does this cabinet have power over their own departments?
Well, that's a really good question, Anderson, because Elon Musk seems to be sending the emails, sending the firing notices, all of these kinds of things, and they're coming from him. And he said something really interesting today that was sort of ominous. They talked about Ebola and how they accidentally canceled an Ebola prevention program. And then he said, but we realized we made a mistake, so we fixed it. We replaced it. The implication of that is that Elon Musk decides what we're going to fund and what we aren't. And that's really what worries me about what's going on. All this deluge of news about what's going on in Ukraine or NATO or, firing people. We're missing something big, which is the usurpation of Congress's power by the president, by the executive, and the framers divided power between the Congress and the president for a reason. And they didn't want power all in one set of hands, whether it's the president or Elon Musk, because they realized that people get abused by their government if too much power is concentrated. So that's what really bothers me about what's going on.
The President Trump won one of Maine's electoral votes in 2016, 2020, and 2024. What do you say to your constituents who say, look, Elon Musk is a tech genius who's helped, if he's helping to modernize the government and cut out fraud and waste, what's wrong with that?
Well, I think a couple of things that I want to point out to them, and I was actually on the radio in Bangor, Maine this morning talking about this. Number one, nobody elected him. We don't even know what his status is. Number two, we don't know who these people are, what they're doing. By the way, they don't know what they're doing, making mistakes like Ebola or firing 350 people who manage our nuclear stockpile. They rectified that in a few days. But the point is, this isn't being done in any systematic way. And I don't think Elon Musk should be given this power. He doesn't know anything about the government. He doesn't know anything about what agencies actually do.
President Trump got into a tense back and forth with the Democratic governor of your state, Janet Mills, at the White House last week. The context was his ban on transgender women playing women's sports. It was really the dynamics, though, the confrontation that stood out. I just want to play that for our viewers.
I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Well, down here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
After the exchange, Trump Education Department launched an investigation into the state of Maine. Putting aside the issue of transgender athletes, what do you make of the president threatening to withhold federal aid and the governor and threatening the governor's career and suggesting federal law basically begins and ends with the White House?
Well, there are two problems, and you just touched on one of them. The statement, we are the law, that reminds me of the King of France, I am the law. And we don't have a king here. We don't have a dictator. And the very fact that he thought that he said that we are the law, that was pretty chilling. And it tells you the direction that their thinking is going in. The second piece is, these are funds that are coming to Maine by virtue of laws passed by Congress and signed by President. An appropriations bill is a law. And that gets back to the original point I was making, that there's something much deeper and more important going on here. And that is the executive, the presidency, pulling the power of Congress, which the framers put there for a reason to protect our freedom, pulling it into his or her hands. And in this case, it's President Trump. Listen, the basic responsibility of the president is spelled out in Article 2 of the Constitution. And here it is. And it's a responsibility. It's not a power. It's a responsibility. The exact words are, see that the laws are faithfully executed. That's in the end of Article 2 of the Constitution. See that the president is to see that the laws are faithfully executed. It doesn't say see that the laws he likes are being faithfully executed, or see that the laws that he doesn't like aren't going to be faithfully executed. That's his job, and that's what the Constitution assigns to him. And the Constitution assigns to the Congress the power of the purse, the power to pass laws. If he doesn't like the Department of the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, come to Congress and get us to repeal it. The presidency does not have the power to just arbitrarily say, we don't like this department, we're going to knock it out.
No.
And if we allow the president, any president, to get that power, we're in trouble, Anderson.
Senator Angus King, I appreciate your time. Thank you.